Hi and welcome to my review videos. This time I'm doing the M4A2E4 Sherman, or the EZ4 called. This tank is a prototype for the M4, and that's almost historical stats of this tank. Its vehicle started in March 1943. Two prototypes were built in July, but the vehicle never saw mass production. So you've got this tank for free if you played over 2000 battles in the beta, and then this tank got added to your account. It's a tier 5 premium tank. And what's the difference versus the M4? Well, the big difference is the armor. The armor is much better. I think it's around 30 millimeters of armor on the M4, and on the EZ4 it's 64 millimeters of armor, sloped at a very good angle, and that's around 100 millimeters effective armor. No, the matchmaking loves this tank, because I always come out top tier, never one tier lower or one tier lower higher. If you are one tier higher, you're going to have problems, because this gun can't penetrate shit. It's only 80 millimeters of penetration. This tank is very good versus low tiers, but the same tiers and high tiers, it has some problems with it. The gun is the 75 millimeters. Oops, wrong button. The gun is the 75 millimeters. It's the same as the M4. So let's get the M4 up. Okay, so I need the gun of the M4, the 75 stock gun. Can't compare it because you can't get it in the shop anymore. But let's take a look at the normal gun. The gun is 4 rounds per minute, almost 4 rounds per minute. For 4 seconds. I mean, average penetration is 92. It used to be 80. Looks like they've buffed it. Average damage is 110. That's a pretty good damage though for a tier 5. Although the M4 of course is a derp gun, there are lots of derp guns in tier 5, but still for tier 5 it's lots of damage. Like the Chinese tank, the T-type T-34 is not a bad tank and all, but it only has 180 damage and it has more penetration. But I prefer more damage over penetration though. Accuracy is not good at all, but you shoot so fast that you don't need that accuracy. 2.1 aiming time for a fast shooting gun, I think it's not good. And oops, I keep pressing this button. So the M4, its gun is a 75 millimeters. So you see that there's almost no difference except the rate of fire. The rate of fire is a little bit better on this M4, and the accuracy is also better, and the aiming speed is also better. So you actually get a worse gun on this tank than the M4, but the difference is almost nothing. The engine is a 420 horsepower engine. That's a pretty good engine for the light tank. I mean, it's only 32 tons. It's not a lot at all. The turret is very good though. It's 76 armor on the front. And tier 5 nothing can penetrate you, because you also have to know that you have the gun mantle, what's extra armor even. In tier 5 I think only the derp guns can penetrate you, but that's it, and that new British TD, the 82, but that's it. Travel speed is very good. It's a medium tank. You can compare this tank very much to the T14. The only difference between the T14 and this tank is that the T14 has more hit points and is slower and has a little bit more armor on the sides, but that's it. For the rest they are almost the same. If you want to experience the M4, the EZ8, then you have to buy a T14, because it's just the same. Travel speed is very good also, and the radio is very good. What I would recommend for you, although you don't need it, because I think the most of you don't have this tank, but let's go ahead. What you need is the plus 10% to aim speed, because this gun is so fast firing that you have to have a good recover from your aiming time. Minus 10% to load time always is a handy thing to have. I mean, yes, it is only a half second, but I always get it on my medium tanks. But that's it, and I think only plus 5% will cool skills and camouflage snap. So can become handy. Shell setup I recommend is lots of AP. The HE shells poorly do damage, so you don't need an HE shell. I mean, the penetration is nothing at all. And for the extra damage it does, it's not worth it. But heat shells are always handy to shoot buildings and all that stuff, because it's cheap to use. Mostly it's cheaper than AP shells. What I recommend for you here is repairs. Can become handy. Camouflage, nah, not really. Sixth sense, of course, is one of the first things I always research. Recon, mostly I'm behind the team, in the team, but never in front, because if you're on tier 5, there, I'm not going to call them noobs, but people rush a lot, and mostly they're easy kills. You just have to sit there and get your shots and get your XP and get your credits. I mean, it's easy kills, and that's why I like this tank, because you always end up in noob teams, noob order teams, I mean. Recon, Jack of all trades, yeah, why not? Jack of all trades, mentor, not really. The gunner you need a lot though. Snapshot, of course, you're a medium tank and you want to have that, because then you improve your accuracy during turret rotations. Deadeye, then you make more critical hits with your AP shells and your gold shells. This is a good thing to have because you're so fast firing. Armor I don't recommend for you to go for. And design target, not. Also not. Then we have the driver. The driver, you need a lot of skills also. The first thing I recommend for you to go for is smooth ride, because this tank sucks at swamps. If you're driving over swamps, you only go like 20 kilometers an hour. I mean, the speed limit is 50 and you easily hit 40, 44 kilometers an hour. But on swamps it's only like 20 and it's horrible to use. Off-road driving though, yeah, of course this is what you need on swamps. I mean, clutch braking of course is a medium tank, and then you turn faster. It's a good thing to have also. But I recommend not signal range, because this tank has a pretty good radio, and it's not like it's made for sniping. I mean, the accuracy is 0.48. That's one of the worst accuracies I've ever seen. Relaying, not maybe because you're mostly inside the teams with this tank, I go for relaying. Call for vengeance, yes, but mostly I'm not that. Mostly I survive the battles in this tank. Situational awareness can become handy to spot other people. Anti-Tucson, Adrenaline can become handy, but that Anti-Tucson don't recommend for you, because it's not like you're going to, mostly shooting AP shells. I think it's, if you, I mean, you're never going to run out of ammo, but I think it's good to only have AP shells, and if you have to reload between your shells, it's only 4 seconds. It's not like that's going to kill you. But I will talk in a battle more about this tank. The replay I got, it was a very good replay. I think I got around 1700 XP, so I will see ya. Okay, so welcome back to the battle. This is a pre-recorded because well, the new update got out and all my replays don't get deleted, but there may cause some problems, and the problems were, well, that my tank was floating in the air the whole time. So luckily I have it pre-recorded for you guys. So this is the M4 battle. As you see, I have camouflage on it. Normally I don't have camouflage on my tanks, but that's because it's a premium tank and I use it a lot to get money. Because mostly these battles are shorts, and I earn around 25,000 per battle in this tank, 25,000 credits if I have a good battle. So a good battle for me is around 700 to 800 XP. Got some sniping shots, well, they all missed because the accuracy is horrible, so don't even try. No idea how our bones are not nearby. Panzer 1C. Well, that's it here. I think I got one shot more on the Panzer 4. Oh no, I don't. Well, the Panzer 4 is a pretty big targets and it's easy to get the shots on, and I've set them on fire and my team got a lost kill. So you saw that the damage is pretty high though for a tier 5. I mean, if you shoot at a tier, I mean, Mostly you're with this tank in tier 5, and if you shoot an enemy, you do almost 20% to the HP off. If that's a tier if that is a tier 5. If it is a tier 4 or tier 3, you almost take all their HP off. Of course, the joy of the turbo gun of the M4 is more fun to play with, but I think this tank is pretty good also. Panzer IV though, it has problems with penetrating the Panzer IV. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. It's completely random always, and the only tank you have to be afraid of is the Churchill and the KV-1. The KV-1, I just can't penetrate him. I can't even penetrate him on the sides. I have to be really lucky to penetrate him. I mean, I bones even on the sides, on the back. I bones everywhere on the KV-1. And don't even try to shoot the turret of a KV-1, because that will, well, not penetrate at all. And I saw that the AMX-38 was shooting me here. It was bonesing, of course, because well, my armor is pretty tough, and I know that the AMX-38 doesn't have lots of penetration. And here you see that the poor penetration of this gun. I know that the AMX-38 has lots of armor, but still, normally I should be able to penetrate a tier 3 with a tier 5. Well, I actually recommend for you to use ramming, because mostly you're ending up with light tanks, so you do more damage to them than they do to you. I got the M5 here. Also, you use the advantage to your engine, because you have a good engine, and try to push away enemies. Because I mean, you have a better engine, you can just push them off cliffs and all that things. 121, that was a pretty good damage there. See, and the damage doesn't well go from 90 to 200 damage. It's completely random damage. The damage is mostly the same. It's only 110 damage. It's never more or never less. It's poorly noticeable. And if you like compare it to the Conqueror, that the Conqueror sometimes hits 300 damage shells and sometimes 500. It's completely random, but that's not the case on the EZ8, the EZ4. And I got a sniping shot here. See, 105. That's almost 10 damage difference. So it's good. 119. Well, I finished the cruise. My team finished the Cruiser 4 here off. Although it says that it's only for 0.48 accuracy, I think the accuracy is still very good though. And the Matilda BP got finished here. So I will see you in the garage to have some little bit more talking about this tank. See ya. So welcome back to the garage. The difference between the M4 and the EZ4 is that, well, the EZ4 has more armor. It has a worse gun, and the maneuverability is the same. One thing I want to say is that the tank is pretty big on the sides, and there are lots of people with the sides are your weak spots. Try to only stick out your front, because this tank is so huge. I've had people, like, before the patch came out, like where it shows the vehicle tiers, they didn't believe it was a tier 5. They thought it was a tier 7 or something, because it was so huge. If you want to buy an EZ4, you have to go on a Russian server or buy a T14, because the T14 is almost the same. The only difference is that the T14 has more hit points and it is slower than the EZ4. But I'm going to end this video and democration rules, and you can choose a tank for my garage. What do you want me to review next? Place it in the comments below, and also try to check out my channel so you know what tanks I've already reviewed. Next week I'm reviewing the, well, not the Conqueror, but the new tier 10. Like you see, I've researched it, and I only need some little bit more credits to buy it, and I will do a video of it. Or I'm going to review the Aufklärungspanther. So that's it, and unfollow, and bye.